Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-hand mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we have here Ariens 624 snow thrower. This was given to me and it's been sitting for at least 3 years, and today I'm going to show you, in my opinion, how to remove the carburetor. I have a great video for how to rebuild it. I'll put that in the link in the description below, but let's get this up on the bench and get this carburetor off. We have a Snow King Tecumseh. This is an overhead valve. This is one of the very rare ones that I come across. When you want to look up your parts, this one here is on the opposite side of what it normally is, but you're going to be looking for the model number here that says OH195SA, and the spec number is a 72541G. So this is the overhead valve version of the Tecumseh, and it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Okay, so while we're on this side, this one actually has the electric starter here. This is the button for the electric starter. This is where you plug in your cord. It has a fuel on and off right here. I think they all came with this overhead valve. They all had the fuel on and off here, which is nice. So if you're having a hard time starting it, make sure this is in the on position, which would be straight up and down. But I need to have it off right now because we're going to be taking off the carburetor. So let's go around the other side. Okay, so we have to take off this knob. It was actually on choke. If you're wondering which one is on choke, this one here with the flap, that's actually the flap that covers the carburetor. It's in the on or closed position. Your choke is on. I'd put a little marker here with silver marker, put on here and off here, so for next time you know. But this should just pop off. I use my clip tool, just slides off the front here. I'll put this in the link in the description below if you guys want to pick one up. They're great to have. They work for everything. Haven't done one of these in a while, so we need to take this bolt off here. And then we have one on this side here. And then we have two right there. And I think we're going to have to come up top here and take those two 7/16 off the top there. Now when I talk bolt size, I'm actually talking the socket size that fits. And the ones up top here are 7/16. We'll go ahead and take this one off first. Today I need to take this machine that's been sitting for I don't know how long. I'm going to leave them sit there while I take the rest of this off. Underneath here we have 1/4 inch, but what I was getting at is I have to take this machine, I have to fix it, and I have to go out and blow 7 inches of snow that we just got in eastern US, and today is, I think it's December 15th? 14th. Today is December 14th. And yeah, we got a lot more snow than they were expecting. And unfortunately, I don't have one. Now be careful with I just put those nuts right there. They're just hanging off to the side. I just didn't want to lose them. So we're going to take these off, and they're sitting right there. It's 1/4 inch socket. Be very careful. These guys you drop them and you'll lose them, so be careful. So on this side here. This is a nice, very small with a little, they have a star washer on there that grips the bolt. These are back when they made them so well. Something simple like that, so nice. Okay, this is not moving yet, so we have one more to take off here. Now this one has a point at the end and it doesn't have that washer, so remember where they go. The one with the washer goes up here and it keeps this shield because there's a lot of vibration right there, so just keep that in mind. Now this comes down here. You can leave this on if you'd like, or you can unplug it right here, and this actually plugs right into this. You have to be careful though that you don't pull that out from the plastic connector that it has on there. So I'm just going to take my tool and I'm going to pop this down just like so, and you can see it has a male connector, like an electrical connector right there, and then it just plugs in, and that's your ground. So if you don't have this key, this plastic key in, it will not run. So remember that key's got to be in to run, and this also has to be connected here, and also this is connected to a ground here, which if you have the throttle all the way in the down position like that, it actually grounds it out right there. So if you have this off, it won't run also, and that's why, I mean, you have the off there, but it has to be up to start. Sometimes these will actually pop out, and that'll be a problem when they're grounding out somewhere and they won't start the engine. This has a very small connector right here. That's like a, it looks like a paper clip almost. You have to remember what hole that goes into. This one here is going into the first hole, and there is a little spring right here. And everything looks like, oop, that was actually off a little bit, but everything looks like it's working as it should. Now this carburetor looks like it's in really good shape, but I'm gonna, oof, this primer line is like solid as a rock. And I know, oops, yeah, and this was sitting outside, so we're just gonna try to get this off. I can take this off on the bench now since this is off here, but we're gonna have to, you see this primer line, this primer guy right here? It looks like somebody might even play with it. But what I'll do is, I'll try to find a soft spot here, and then I'll put a little piece of metal inside here that grabs it, and then I'll put the new line on the other piece of metal, and then I'll pull it through by popping this out. It should just pop out like this. There's two little tabs right there, so you can pop it back in. But before you pull this all the way out, you're gonna connect something to this with your new primer line and pull it through so you don't have any problems and you don't have to take this off. So we're gonna go ahead and, to pull this off, there's a couple different ways you can do it. There is bolt here. It's a 7/16 wrench on this side and a 3/8 wrench on this side. Or they have a Phillips head, a large Phillips head that you can use, but you need a really big one, and the hard one is over here. Now what I normally do is I get the back one off first, and this one here has, you see the locking washer on the nut? That's a really nice feature that when you go to put these together again, this will grab while you're screwing this in and tighten them up. I'm gonna put the throttle all the way down into the slow position, and that will let this just be loose. If you have it all the way up in the fast position, this is gonna be real tight and you're pulling against the spring. So put it down to loose. I'm gonna go ahead and use a 3/8 socket. Okay, because of the angle of this intake, I can't get my socket on there. So they give you a Phillips head slot because this would not go on. You can't get it on there. There's not enough room. So the Phillips head, I have a very large one from an impact set, and I put it into a 8mm socket with a little bit of paper towel, and that is what I use with the Phillips head to turn this counterclockwise so it doesn't strip it. Once you get it started, then you normally can go around to the back and hold. Normally the nut will hold because of that washer. Get your finger back there and hold it. Okay, so there it is with the big Phillips head. And then there is the star washer here. These are great. These grab very nice. Before you take out the last bolt, come around to where your fuel line is right here. Before you take off your last bolt of the carburetor, you're going to loosen that up. Pair of pliers, crimp your fuel line clamp down, and then move it off. I've learned that if you twist your fuel line a little bit, it gets it unstuck on the carburetor, and then you can use your clip removal tool, try to get right behind the collar, and just keep pushing slightly until you can get this tool behind the collar. And then once you get it behind the neck or the collar of the fuel line, then you can push it out. And you have to be careful. Sometimes these little clip tools are too small to go over the barb, so you kind of have to hit the outside there. Now there may be fuel coming out, so be careful. And if you guys are allergic to fuel on your skin, definitely wear gloves. Pull that off to the side like so. A little bit of fuel coming out there. Now we can go ahead and take the last bolt out of the carburetor, which is here. Slide that out. Now it didn't fall down because it's actually stuck on the gasket here, and you just give it a tap and it pops down. Now the reason why I'm holding it is because we have this little paper clip looking, and if you have to, come back to this video to watch it, but I'm gonna leave it on the carburetor and I'm gonna slide it right out of here, like so, like that. Now remember what hole that goes in. Now as far as, I'm gonna take this over to the bench so I don't lose this clip. We're gonna take it out, but we're gonna go to the bench right now. Need to remember that the 45-degree angle goes to the governor and the U-shaped part goes into the carburetor hole. So I'm gonna pop that out, put that down. I always make marks That goes to carb. And then this goes to the governor. Just so I know that it's going to go back into the carb. Now right here, now granted this is going to go into an ultrasonic cleaner, but you want to mark the spot. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll scratch it with a very, it's like a scroll. If you have a scroll or something that you can scratch into the metal, or just remember, or just look at the video and just remember that this hole is where that went. You know you have a genuine Tecumseh carburetor if you turn it upside down and it says Tecumseh right on the bowl. On the other side of the carburetor right here, it says Tecumseh. Then you know you have a genuine Tecumseh. Whatever you do, don't throw it away. If you have to, take it to somebody who has an ultrasonic cleaner, pay the money. Looks like somebody was banging on this. You can see right here. Somebody's banging on that. Don't bang on your bowl, your carburetor. It's not good. Take it somewhere to get ultrasonically cleaned before you put the carb kit in. I will put a link in the description below to rebuild this carburetor. It's a pretty nice video. It should get you going again. I'm going to go ahead and get this apart. A lot of you guys out there say your choke is real loose. This one is not. And it's because there is a spring right here. This spring goes across and it helps keep the choke from fluttering. So you may be able to get that part through the parts breakdown. They may still sell it through Tecumseh. Now Tecumseh is no longer, but you can still get parts for these. It's a great little carburetor. Okay, so I rebuilt the carburetor and I did find out that even though the carburetor looked like it was in great shape, somebody put in a China carb kit which didn't work, and that's why I didn't run, but it has been sitting for 3 years. So I went and put a brand new primer line in, and this primer line is Tecumseh primer line, and the other stuff was really fat and thick and it wasn't right. So this is nice and pliable. It should last a long time. I am going to go with the fuel line the way it is because it's not that bad and it should work okay, and I need to get my snow blown. I put the linkage in exactly the way it was. Now what we got to do is we have to put this up here. This is the new gasket. I'm going to put one bolt in just to hold it. Probably see if I can put the other bolt in just to hold that gasket. I'm going to go ahead and try to put this link into the governor arm. And it may take me a few shots to get this, and you don't want to bend that governor arm too far out of whack because you can mess up the governor. Okay, we got that in there. I'm going to go ahead. The gasket fell off the one side. Make sure you don't lose that gasket. Once you get the holes lined up, like I said, you just have to put the nut on and then start screwing in the other side, and that'll hold it. This one's a little more tricky. And I'm just going to hold it there. Well, I have to turn it because I can't use my left arm, so I have to do what I have to do. You guys out there should be able to turn the bolt and hold the nut. I'm going to try turning the nut until it just starts, and as soon as it starts, I'll be able to turn the bolt. All right, I got it going. Make sure that's tight. Going to go ahead and put the fuel line on. Now I also drained all the old gas out of here and I put Aspen 4 in, and I highly recommend Aspen 4. It's a fuel. You purchase it and it'll come in a quart container or a gallon container. It is non-ethanol. It is 92 octane. It'll stay fresh up to 2 years in the machine and up to 5 years in the container. And if you want to stop having carburetor problems, purchase Aspen 4. Only use Aspen 4 and don't use it with the pump gas, and you will not have carburetor problems any longer. Fuel line's on, the prime line's here. It has to come around to this side. Now, it has to stay away from the muffler, which is right here. I'm going to put it under the fuel line like this, wrap it around right here. I made it extra long so I'd have enough room right here to put it into the nipple here. So I'm going to leave it just like that because a little bit long, just in case it breaks like it did. Well, this is very pliable, but in the future, if it does break off at the nipple there, we'll have a little bit of extra to play with if we ever need to get into it again. All right, so primer line's on. Let's go ahead, turn on the fuel. Before I put it all back together again, I like to make sure that it's not going to leak. Make sure your governor seems to be working as it should. Yeah, so we're not dripping anywhere. I know that carburetor bowl was pretty banged up from the last person. This thing hasn't run in a very long time. I did check the oil's okay. I'm gonna put it at half throttle, prime it 1, 2, 3 times. We'll give it a pull. All right, I didn't put the choke on because I primed it a lot and we're in pretty warm conditions, so. Doing good. Okay, so it's running good. It's not leaking anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on again. This is the cover. You're gonna plug that back into its connector right there. Like this. We'll go ahead and put the first one in that we took out last. I don't usually tighten anything up until I got everything back together again. That special one with the nice washer on there goes up here. Not going to tighten it all the way up. Go ahead and put that. Got 2 in the front here. Once you have them all started, you can go ahead and tighten them up. Have your choke knob, just make sure you remember which way it was. The choke was open, so you're gonna have it on the, this is the open or the run position. That is the choke, or the on position as I call it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We'll give it one more pull here. We're gonna half throttle it. Prime it once. Actually, I'll try to choke this time. Put a choke on, give it a pull. Choke off. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's look at the tools that we used today. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward today. I used a 1/4-inch electric ratchet all the time. You can just use whatever you have that is going to be able to hold a 1/4-inch socket, 7/16 socket, 3/8 socket. Well, I use the deep socket and the shallow socket. This is like I said, this Phillips was in a kit, an impact kit that I used, and I just made it. You just have to make sure that if you have a Phillips head, it's got to be big to fit the bolt. And if you have it too small, you can strip it out, and you don't want to do that because that one was really hard to get to. Regular pair of pliers. This is just like an awl, just like a scratch. Used to be a screwdriver. I just made it very pointy so I can make a mark. 1/4-inch extension if needed. A pair of needle nose pliers if needed. And this is my clip removal tool. That works great. If you don't have a fuel shutoff on your gas tank, you're going to need a pair of fuel line cutoff pliers. This is just, these are plastic and they work great for fuel lines. I got this at Harbor Freight. And that's pretty much it for the tools. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for how to remove and install a carburetor on an Ariens 624. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.